Happy Sunday morning, everybody. Happy Christian Sabbath to those of you who share faith in Jesus Christ with me. Hope everybody's doing well today. I wanted to give you guys your Sunday morning dose of hope and reason and sanity and enlightenment and encouragement and emotional medication so that you don't get consumed by all the craziness and by all the hopelessness and by all the nihilism that is trying to press in on you, that is trying to rob you of your peace, that is trying to rob you of your joy, that is trying to rob you of your patriotism. If there's anything I can do to help put a stop to that, it's all worth it to me. And the fact is, guys, the Bobby Hesley Show has been launched for the last 3 months. Yeah, I've got my studio I'm getting set up. It's going to be a sweet setup, guys. It's going to be a sweet setup. I've got my boom mic. I've got a really awesome HD camera. Oh, I'm here to give you your edification, Celeste. It's always good to see you, Celeste. Celeste is a dear good friend of mine who has worked very hard with me at the Black Voices for Trump Detroit outreach. Her and I literally went door to door together. Late at night in the city of Detroit, we're going door to door together, trying to get people to vote to re-elect President Trump. But the fact is, guys, the Bobby Hesley Show has been launched since I was in Thailand. It's just that this particular format that I'm doing, this walk and talk format, I gotta be honest, I kind of like it. It's kind of grown on me. It really has. And it's growing on a lot of other people too. It's a little bit unorthodox. Most content creators are creating from inside their studios. They got awesome backgrounds. They got, these pretty sophisticated setups. But I want my listeners, I want my audience to feel like they can relate to me. I want you guys to feel like you can do what I do. I want you to be able to, I want to set the example that, if you're willing to just publicize your thoughts, that it's okay to put your thoughts out there. I want to liberate you from the fear of judgment. I want to liberate you from the fear of caring what other people think of you. Because that's a really cruel prison to live in, is the prison of public opinion. And I want you to be able to say, hey, this guy's just going on his morning walks and sharing his thoughts with people. So you'll see this show grow. You'll see this format grow as time goes on. And we'll be in this together, guys. So, what's on the agenda for today? What do I want to talk about today? Well, let me get right into this and say that the same people who were honking at me in Royal Oak yesterday celebrating the victory of Joe Biden, the alleged victory of Joe Biden, all these people that are gloating, all these news networks that have christened their new king and their new queen, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, all these people that we're seeing high on euphoria, high on their dopamine hits, and high on their victory, I want you guys to take a note. I want you guys to catch all of these people and all of these hacks in their before phase. And I'm not talking about Democrat voters. I'm not talking about your average salt of the earth voter. Like I've said many times, I've got many good friends who are Democrats. I've got people I grew up with who are Democrats, and we disagree with each other bitterly, but that doesn't mean we're not friends. So whenever you guys hear me talking about Democrats, whenever you hear me talking about the left, always know that I'm talking about the politicians. I'm talking about the power brokers, the money makers. Those are the people I'm talking about. Okay? God bless you too, Brenda. So I want you guys to take note of all these people that you see celebrating, because these same people that you see celebrating and gloating are going to be the same people in about 4 to 6 to 8 weeks who are going to be rioting, who are going to be looting, who are going to be screaming and shouting at the top of their lungs and letting out shrieks the likes of which we haven't seen since Jesus Christ cast out demons in his public ministry 2,000 years ago. That's what you're going to see, folks. So let them have their victory. Let them enjoy their little victory, because the fact of the matter is this, guys. The news media does not determine who the president of the United States is. And that just goes to show the amount of political illiteracy that has taken over our democratic republic, of people who legitimately think that because Fox News and MSNBC and CNN declared that Joe Biden is the winner, that automatically makes him the 46th president of the United States. That goes to show you who your competition is, guys. That goes to show you what we're up against. It's not even a fair fight. If we're just going to compare how educated somebody is, how low information somebody is, to where they think that the leader of the free world is determined by a private news organization that runs with sensationalistic headlines because they have sponsors that they're beholden to, that pay them hundreds of millions of dollars so that they can have access to all their viewers to sell their laundry soap or whatever the hell else it is these advertisers and sponsors are selling. So you mean to tell me that a private business, that a private news organization, that a for-profit propaganda machine is who determines who the president of the United States is? Disney, I love your Marvel movie division. I love Marvel movies. But you guys need to stick to your day job and keep cranking out Marvel movies. Leave the politics to us. Disney doesn't determine who the president is. Disney doesn't run the American electorate. And I actually feel a little bit of pity for all these people who think that Joe Biden is president of the United States, because they really think that a news organization is who determines who governs our land. These are people that need to be educated and talked with and reasoned with, if that's even possible. So the fact is, guys, I don't know if you saw my video yesterday. I had to make that video, guys. And I find it very interesting that all these news organizations decided to christen their king, Joe Biden, right at the same time the Giuliani press conference was aired. I want you guys to make note of that. When Rudolph Giuliani, President Donald Trump's, the head of Donald Trump's legal team that is investigating this election, why is it that right at the same time that press conference premiered, that they declared Joe Biden the winner? Why? I want you guys to ask that question. Those of you who've been following me on social media, one of my niches is that I like to ask questions for reflection. So that's my question for reflection, guys. Why is it that they declared Joe Biden president of the United States right at the same time Donald Trump announced his investigation into all their voter fraud? I want you guys to really think about that and think about it hard. Now, I want to address a DM that I've been getting from a lot of people. My DMs have been blowing up. My DMs always blow up. I get a lot of people who private message me, guys. You wouldn't believe how inundated I am. But one of the things I've been getting a lot from people is this QAnon conspiracy theory. Now, I've got lots of good friends who are part of QAnon. I've had people drag me into QAnon groups without my consent. I never quite really understood what the whole thing was all about in the beginning. But there's lots of conspiracy theories that the right is putting out. And a few days ago, I admonished and exhorted my fellow people on the right to not put out conspiracy theories, guys. There's lots of different ways that we can cope. There's lots of different ways that we can process what is going on in our country right now. And we don't have to use conspiracy theories to cope with the attack that we're under. So the latest conspiracy theory that's going around, and some of you might disagree with me on this. And again, like I say with everything, I will make the same disclaimer that I make on everything I say. And that disclaimer is this: I'm willing to be wrong. I really am. I'm willing to be wrong about this, guys. So keep that in mind. I don't think I am wrong, but maybe I am. But maybe I'm right. And here's what I might be right about. So the latest conspiracy theory that's being put out by the right is that there's a sting operation going on, that the ballots, that all the ballots were marked with watermarks, it's called a radioactive isotope. That there's this blockchain technology that the federal government implanted on every single ballot because they knew that the Democrats were going to cheat, and they knew that the Democrats were going to steal the election. So what the feds did is they printed out all these hundreds of millions of ballots for however many people voted. And that way, when the Democrats would produce their fake ballots, they would produce these fraudulent ballots, not knowing that they are lacking the watermark that the actual legitimate ballots had. And there was a watermark on these ballots that allowed the U.S. military to track the ballots to where they know exactly where they've been sent to, if they've been destroyed, and that basically this is just a giant Trump sting operation. Now, I think it would make a great novel. Like if I was a political thriller writer and I wrote political novels and I wanted to be a playwright and maybe get it made into a movie, that would be an incredible plot. But here's where that conspiracy theory loses me, guys, is that the federal government is not responsible for producing the voting ballots. Every individual state in the union is who produces their own ballots. So Michigan makes their own ballots, Pennsylvania makes their own ballots. This is why we had the fiasco back in the year 2000, which was the very first election that I participated in. So I know it well, because that election left a huge imprint on me. Because the first election that I voted in, and I voted for Bush, I don't have a crystal ball. Looking back, Bush was a terrible president in both terms. In hindsight, I do not support President Bush, even though I'm a Republican. He messed up Iraq, and a lot of my fellow Dear Chaldeans will be the first to tell you how bad Bush was for the Middle East, and I agree with them. They've actually taught me quite a bit about the Middle East. But, you know, if you recall, back in the year 2000, Florida had their own unique ballots. They had these hanging chads, you know, where you would have to, you know, punch a hole into who it was that you're voting for. Whereas up here in Michigan, I remember just checking off, just check, right? So each state makes their own ballots. That's what throws out that watermark isotope conspiracy theory in my mind. I do think Trump has something up his sleeve, though. I don't know what it is. I think you have to realize, guys, that the President of the United States has access to the best intelligence sources in the world. Trump has access to all kinds of quantum intelligence that is filling him in on things that we wouldn't dream of. So he's in the know a lot more than we are, let's just say that. And I think I see some art of war strategies that are going on right now. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some kind of sting operation going on. I just don't know what kind it is, and we're going to find out. But I just don't see President Trump allowing an election to be stolen from him. He foresaw this. He was talking about it months ago. He was warning everybody about these mail-in ballots because the only irregularities that we're finding are with the mail-in ballots. Why aren't we having any irregularities with the regular organic ballots that people showed up and voted for? And another obvious question, if you haven't asked yourself this question yet, you should. Why is it that all of these mail-in ballots are going for Biden? Why are they uncontested 100% for Biden? I think they're sloppy with how they're cheating. You would think if they're going to cheat that they would not make it so obvious. Maybe put a few for Trump here and there. Maybe put a few for some other candidates here and there. But to put them all 100% for Biden and nobody else, that's just obvious, guys. Because I personally know a few Republicans who mailed in their ballots and voted for Trump. Okay? But the fact that every mail-in ballot is for Biden, that's what's pretty obvious. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court just ruled in our favor. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court just ruled that certain ballots have to be segregated from other ballots. And these ballots that are being segregated are going to be challenged, and they may not be allowed to be counted. And those are ballots that arrived after November 3rd. Because listen, guys, we're a nation of laws and we're a nation of rules. We're a nation of protocols. We're a nation of processes. And there's a ballot deadline that has to be observed. Ballots have to be turned in by the deadline. You can't count votes after an election. So, listen, this thing is far from over, guys. Don't give up so easily and don't lose hope. Now, for all of you people, all of you gloaters, and I love you, but you're gloating prematurely, and I'm letting you have your fun. But for all of you people who are pro-Biden, who are saying, well, where's the proof, Bobby? Where's the proof of all this fraud that you guys are talking about? Well, these things take time, guys. November 3rd was not even a week ago. All these ballots that are being contested right now that are causing all this confusion, they showed up after November 3rd. So you got to give it time, guys. Again, for those of you who are asking, who are gloating and saying, where's the proof of the fraud? Where's the proof? Where's the proof? Did you guys watch the Giuliani press release? Or were you too busy gloating over Fox News or whoever else declaring a president? Did you watch the Giuliani press conference? He's starting on Monday, guys. Tomorrow is D-Day, baby. He is going to start investigating. There are all kinds of proof of fraud that's been gathered. But it took time to gather it, guys. This is a massive voter fraud operation, the likes of which Joe Biden was bragging about recently, where he said we set up the most inclusive, vast voter fraud organization in history. Some people say that was a gaffe. I don't think it was. I think Joe Biden told the truth on accident, which Joe Biden is famous for. Joe Biden loves to tell the truth on accident. When you get a chance, go on YouTube. You can find footage of Joe Biden with a bunch of poor black kids saying, oh, I had all these black kids and they sat on my lap and I'd like to rub the hair on my leg and watch the hair stand up. And I love spending time with all these black kids because they taught me about roaches. He literally said that. He said, when I spent time with all these black kids, I learned about roaches. That's pretty racist, bro. He told the truth on accident. He tells the truth on accident over and over and over again, guys. And that's what he's doing. But for all of you people who are saying, where's the proof of the fraud? Where's the proof? Where's the proof? Where's the proof? To you people saying that, I ask you, why were you not saying this when all the Russia hoax was going on for the last 3.5 years? Where was your where's the proof of fraud attitude back then? When you guys couldn't accept Hillary's defeat, and when you guys were cool with co-signing that our federal government squandered $50 million of our tax dollars, of your tax dollars, that could have been dedicated to breaking up drug rings, drug cartels, human sex trafficking rings, fighting terrorism. All that money that was wasted on a fake Russian collusion hoax. Where was all your attitude then of where's the proof of the fraud? You guys were singing from the rooftops that Pootie Poo helped Trump beat Hillary and get elected. Now all of a sudden, when we cry voter fraud, you're wanting to demand proof. I find that very interesting. But the fact is, guys, I feel like both of the parties are learning from each other. And that's what's kind of cool about what's going on right now. That's one of the silver linings that I pull out of this, is that us Republicans are being taught by you Democrats. We're being taught a skill set that you Democrats have mastered. And you Democrats are being taught a skill set by us Republicans that we have mastered. Would you guys like to know what the differing skill sets are that are being taught to one another? Well, how about I tell you? We have taught you guys how to not riot. We've taught you guys how to not burn down your neighborhoods, how not to loot, how not to vandalize, how not to create anarchy and chaos. Because I don't see anybody rioting and looting right now on either side. I find it interesting that there are 70 million disenfranchised Republican voters and not a single riot. Have you noticed that? Are you taking note of that, Democrats? Are you taking note of how to react when your man doesn't win? You don't riot. You go about your life. You live your life. But here's what you Democrats have taught us, though. And we really appreciate the free lesson. The lesson that you guys have taught us is how to not accept the outcome of an election. That's a skill set that we picked up from you guys. That's how you guys have rubbed off on us. Because we're not going to accept the outcome of this election. You guys wouldn't shut up about Russia. You guys wouldn't shut up about Michael Avenatti. You wouldn't shut up about the golden shower with the hookers overs in Russia. All these fake things that were started by the Clinton campaign. You guys would not shut up about that for the last 3.5 years. So you know what we're not going to shut up about? We're not going to shut up about the TCF Center in Detroit. We're not going to shut up about the fact that Will Smith's dead father, God rest his soul, voted twice in the city of Philadelphia. We're not going to shut up about the Sharpie ballots in Arizona. We're not going to shut up over all the irregularities that are going on in Wisconsin. We're not going to shut up over the fact that North Carolina and Georgia still have not been called for us yet. So if you guys aren't going to shut up about Russia, even as recently as 10 days ago, Hillary Clinton in an interview, guys, get this, 4 years later, just a week ago, Hillary Clinton was saying that the election was stolen from her. Get over it, Hillary. She hasn't shut up about 2016. So if Hillary still hasn't shut up about the election being stolen from her, you really think we're going to shut up 5 days later? 4 years later, she hasn't shut up. 5 days later, you guys are telling us to shut up? If you guys are so confident that your man Joe Biden won legitimately, if you guys are so confident that he pulled off this clean, fair and square victory that you guys claim that he pulled off, why are you in such a rush to declare him the winner then? Why are you in such a rush to shut this whole investigation down before it even starts? Why are you guys trying so hard to shoot the tires out of this airplane that's getting ready to take off the runway? You guys are trying to prevent this Biden election fraud investigation airplane from launching off the runway. You don't even want us to get up in the air. You're trying to take our tires out. You're trying to take the wings out before we can even take off. That doesn't sound very confident to me. If you guys are so confident that Joe Biden wiped the floor with Donald Trump, your attitude should be, well, you know what? Bring it on. We're confident in our man. We're confident we won. We're confident that Trump is fired. We're confident that the electorate repudiated Donald Trump. So we welcome your investigations. Here, you want some help? You want us to open up our books to you? But you guys aren't doing that, are you? You're running scared. And the fact that, and proof that you're running scared, is that you're so quick to forget all the basic civic lessons that you should have learned back in elementary school, that the news media does not declare or certify who the President of the United States is. The fact that you guys are so desperately celebrating the fact that the fake news media said that Joe Biden is president is proof that you guys are not confident in winning this thing in a normal way that it's supposed to be won, because you have to hide behind the media to say that your guy is a winner. And that ain't how it works here in America, guys. The president-elect has still not even been certified yet. He's not certified until December, whoever that winner is. We don't know who the president-elect is. And just because the news media says that Joe Biden is president-elect doesn't mean that he is. He hasn't been certified yet. That's still a month away from happening. Even if none of this was going on, even if it was clear that Joe Biden won fair and square, he's still a month away from being certified. Yet you want to go out through Royal Oak and honk your horns at me, shouting Biden-Harris? So where's all that confidence when it comes to this investigation, guys? That's where I want to see that. That's the inconsistency I see. You lost, bro. Give it up. You lost. You lost. Al Gore challenged this thing for 37 days back in the year 2000. You guys think this is the first Democrat vice president to hold up an election like this? Al Gore was the Democrat vice president of Bill Clinton for 8 years. He didn't accept his loss, and he held everything up over 2 counties. We got 4 or 5 states that are in play right now. We got Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia, Nevada, Wisconsin. We have 5 or 6 states that we are just now starting to investigate. And we're on day 5. And on day 5, you guys are already telling us to quit. To me, that's fear. To me, that's fear of being found out, and that's a lack of confidence in your man. Because if the shoe were on the other foot, and the Democrats were trying to contest the outcome of this election, you know what we'd be doing? We'd say, bring it on. Bring on your investigations. You guys want us to bring you some Krispy Kreme coffee and donuts while you recount? We'll help you out. We got nothing to hide. We know that we won. So we will help you out with the recount. But I'm not seeing that from your side. I'm seeing you guys say, okay, it's over, it's over. We won, guys. Get away from me. Get away. We won. We won. Leave me alone, please. Leave me alone. We won the election. Please don't investigate us. I know it's only day 5. Please don't investigate us. Hey, Fox News, can you get on TV and say that Joe Biden won, please? Hey, CNN. Hey, MSNBC. We need you guys to get on the news and announce Joe Biden as the winner. Can you please do it at 12 noon, right when Rudolph Giuliani announces his investigation, please? We need your help, guys. We're so confident that Biden won that we need the news to declare him the winner a month before the electorate can even freaking legally certify him. This is why I'm confident, guys. This is why I am not letting nihilism and anxiety and fear overtake me, because this thing is just getting started. This thing is far from over. And I think I have a new nickname for Joe Biden, and you saw it first on my channel. I'm going to start calling him President Dewey. D-E-W-E-Y. Do you guys remember President Dewey? Yeah, I don't either, because he was a fake news candidate who the news prematurely said defeated Harry Truman. And Harry Truman, being the polished politician that he was, mocked the fake news by holding up a newspaper article saying Dewey defeats Truman, and he had an ear-to-ear smile on his face. This is not the first time this has happened, guys. Go back and watch my video that I made yesterday when Fox News and all the fake people declared Joe Biden to be the winner. The first thought that I had is, wow, this is a Dewey defeats Truman in our day and age. That's really what it is, guys. Look up that image. That's just a fact. Now, I'm willing to be wrong about all of this. I'm willing to be wrong about it all. But I want this thing to be investigated just so that we can be sure. Let's say that this thing is thoroughly investigated, it makes it to the courts, we're able to audit all the ballots, and let's say Joe Biden legitimately won. You know what? Congratulations. Job well done. Job well done is what I would say. And I would call for a peaceful transfer of power. But the fact that you Democrats are not willing to give us the chance to do that shows me how confident you are that this thing is legitimate. Because if you were confident in the legitimacy of this outcome, you would be the ones taunting us. You would be the ones calling for the investigation, because you would want to put it behind you. Don't you want a legitimate victory? Do you? Don't you want to be able to say that this election was not stolen? Don't you want to have some pride in your candidate? Don't you want to have some pride in your party that you were able to legitimately win an election that can withstand a thorough investigation by the other side, just so that everybody's questions can be answered and that it can be put to rest and that the country can move on with this new transfer of power? But I'm not seeing that from you guys. I am not seeing any of that from you guys. What I'm seeing from you is get this over with as quick as possible so we can move on, guys. Because the darkness fears the light, guys. The darkness lives in fear of the light. And what I'm seeing on the side of you, my Democrat brothers and sisters, is a lot of fear of the light. You guys are terrified of the light. You're terrified of it. The news media is terrified of the light. Otherwise, they would not have coordinated their fake news announcement, their fake Dewey defeats Truman announcement, right at the same time that the Giuliani press conference premiered. Because this investigation is going to be underway, guys. It's going to go full swing. And I believe that this very well could be President Donald Trump's ultimate draining of the swamp. I believe that this could be his cherry on top at the end of his first term, that he did everything for us. He built the wall. He advanced the black community for generations with prison reform, with HBCU grants, with urban opportunity zones, with school choice. He helped the Latinos. He helped women. He's done all these incredible things. He stabilized the Middle East that no other president has been able to do with the United Arab Emirates Israel deal. He got North Korea to meet with a U.S. president for the first time in 50 or 60 years since the Korean War. And at the end of it all, he also exposes the rot and the corruption in our U.S. American electorate that has been going on for decades. I believe that that could be underway. Again, I don't agree with the QAnon conspiracy theory about this whole watermark isotope thing, because again, states make their own ballots. The Fed don't make ballots. The federal government doesn't make ballots for the whole country. Each state has its own sovereignty. You guys got to remember, our founding fathers set up our country to preserve it from one party rule. That's what's called federalism. That's why each state is its own sovereign entity, and each state has the right to create its own ballots. So don't buy into that conspiracy theory, guys. Like I said, we don't have to cope with conspiracy theories. There's other ways we can cope with this. So if this thing is investigated, and if it's found out that Joe Biden legitimately won, that's all we want to know, guys. And that should be all you want to know. Think about it, guys. Go back to your childhood. When you used to compete, when you played kickball, when you played dodgeball, basketball, baseball, video games, any kind of competitive game that you played as a kid, how would you feel if a bunch of parents showed up and in front of everybody, let's say your name was Joey, and little Joey's parents show up at every game, and no matter how bad Joey played the game, no matter how long he sat on the bench, no matter how much he fouled out, no matter how many errors and glitches and mistakes he made, every time little Joey has a game, his parents show up and demand that the game be called in his favor without any of the rules. They just want their little Joey to win. They're like, nope, we don't care about the rules. We don't care if he won fair and square. I want my Joey to win. And I want the principal to get on the PA throughout the school, on the PA speaker system, and I want the principal to announce that little Joey won this game of kickball. I don't care how bad he played. I don't care that he sat on the bench 98% of the game. I demand that the principal get on the PA system and announce little Joey as the MVP player of this kickball game. That's what the media is doing for Joe Biden, guys. Little Joey needs the fake news media to declare him president. Why? Because he can't win on his own. And that should make you Democrats feel ashamed. That should make you Democrats not have any pride in who your candidate is. And that is why I'm not hearing anything positive about Joe Biden. I have not seen a single positive post about Joe Biden winning from you Democrats. All I see is Trump got fired, F Trump, all this toxic sewer stuff coming out of your mouths. But I don't see you saying anything good about your candidate. Because deep down you know that your candidate is an empty suit. Your candidate, little Joey, little Dewey, can't win on his own. He needs Republican poll challengers not being allowed to observe elections. He needs news media networks to declare him the winner. He needs all those things to win, guys. And the whole country is about to find out whether or not that little scheme to get him elected worked. And for you confident, cocky Democrats that are gloating, it is beyond disbelief why you guys are not welcoming an investigation. Where's your faith, oh ye of little faith in your candidate? Why are you guys not calling for an investigation? Why? Don't you guys want to stick it to us Republicans? Don't you want to definitively shut our mouths? Don't you want to prove that you won? Because there has never before been irregularities in an election like this before. And it should trouble those of you on the left as well. So, in closing, I'll end on a different note. I'm going to take a bit of a zag on this zig. There is a war on masculinity going on in our country right now. There's a war of masculinity that is happening. Masculinity and manhood is under attack right now. And the U.S. electorate just potentially elected a man who said live on TV in a town hall debate that if an 8-year-old wants to undergo a certain kind of operation, that they should be able to choose their gender. Guys, I want you to think about something. Why is it, and this is not hate speech towards those who have body dysmorphia disorder, but why is it that the overwhelming majority of gender transition operations are undergone to make boys into little girls? We know that can't happen. We know that your gender is what it is. But why is it that the overwhelming instance that we see are boys becoming girls, men becoming women? You never see women becoming men. Again, we know that can't happen biologically. But I believe that that's part of the war on masculinity. I believe that that's what's part of it. Why is it that little boys are put on Ritalin medications? Just because boys are being boys, because they have too much energy. I know Dr. Laura Schlesinger, who's a woman psychologist, had a popular radio program, and she had a good friend who was a teacher, and you know what she would do when she would teach her kids? Is with her boys, she would walk them around the block during their lessons. And believe it or not, guys, they paid attention. They learned better when they were walking because they're just so amped up with energy. Men are bigger, faster, and stronger than women. We naturally have more energy. We have more testosterone. We have more aggression. We have more energy than women do in most cases. That's how God made it. It's not saying that we're better than women. It's just one of the ways that we're different. And one of the ways that war has been declared on masculinity is by medicating away the masculinity of little boys, by calming them down. And I believe that we potentially, because again, we could lose this thing, guys. And if we lose, we lose. We just want to know that we lost fair and square, that's all. And you Democrats should be willing to give that to us. You should want that for yourself. Don't you want a certified fair and square victory that passes all legal muster, that stands up to the scrutiny of an investigation? Don't you want that? But the fact is, if you guys do legitimately win, I believe that we're going to have a president in the Oval Office, whether it's Biden or Harris, that is going to continue the war on masculinity. So for all of you men, it's time for you to step up and be a man. For all of my male friends, all of my men friends, it's time for you to rise up. It is time for you to stop caring what people think of you. It is time for you to stop living for the approval of others, especially for the approval of women. Women, I love you, but I don't live for your approval. And I don't think you respect a man who lives for your approval. Right? I don't think you respect a man who treats you like you're his mommy and he has to live for your approval and your pat on the back. I can't tell you guys how many men I've debated with over the years, and I'm firmly convinced that the reason they're wedded to the opinion that they're wedded to is because they don't want to lose the approval of whatever woman they're with or of whatever woman they're trying to get with. And they think that by espousing this liberal position and by being overly emotional and by not going toe-to-toe with somebody just based on their ideas, they think that that's attractive to women. I'll give you guys a clue. It ain't. Women aren't stupid. They know when a guy's fake. They know when a guy's trying to get their approval. They know when a guy is espousing something that he doesn't really believe in. They have more intuition than we do. They're good at that stuff, guys. They see right through it. So for all of you men out there that are flexing on social media, thinking it's going to get you a bunch of likes and a bunch of love emojis from women you think are interested, for all you guys out there who like to put out these overly emotional posts, and then as soon as you get a like from a woman, you click on the like, you click on the profile of the chick who likes it, and you DM her because you're not man enough to ask her out on a date in person, face to face. You got to ask her out on a date through a DM. For all you guys out there who do that, there is a line that is being drawn in the sand right now between the men and the boys. And for all of you emotional dudes who don't know how to have a conversation with somebody who has a different viewpoint than you, I want you to know that that's very feminine behavior. Real men don't resort to personal attacks when they're in a debate with somebody. That's not what a real man does. You know what a real man does? He does his research. He learns how to defend his opinion with a ferocity that's unassailable. That's what a real man does. He studies his opinion. He studies his viewpoint. He researches his viewpoint. He takes it out for field testing with actual conversations with people so that he can find the holes and flaws in his viewpoint, that maybe the viewpoint itself is wrong and he needs to switch, or the viewpoint is right, he just needs to tighten up how he defends it. That's what real men do. Real men don't say, sit your ass down, man. Shut your ass up, man. That's what chicks do. Quit acting like chicks. Women are not attracted to men who act feminine. They're called heterosexuals. Being a heterosexual is when you're attracted to an energy that is different than yours. So if you're a woman, you're attracted to masculine energy. If you're a clinically sane heterosexual. If you're a man, you're attracted to feminine energy. If you're a clinically sane heterosexual. So it is very feminine, and it is very unmanly, and it is very unmasculine to conduct yourself the way I see a lot of you guys coming on my wall talking to me. You need to man up. You need to study and research and learn how to have an actual valid opinion that's worth defending. Because an opinion worth having is an opinion worth defending. And if you don't have the wherewithal to defend your opinion, is it really an opinion? Or is it a regurgitated talking point that you didn't require whoever put that talking point into your mind to earn your assent? Your intellectual assent needs to be earned. So when you have all these voices and all these viewpoints and all these people knocking at the door of your brain, trying to get their thoughts into your mind so that you can think the way they want you to think, They have to earn that right. You don't just spread your intellectual legs open and let whoever wants to penetrate you. Stop being emotionally promiscuous and just spreading your intellectual legs open for whoever wants to penetrate you with their thoughts and their way of thinking. Learn how to research. Learn how to think critically. Learn how to test every spirit. That's right, Julie. Don't be a beta male. Just be a man, guys. We need men in this country. We need masculine men who are unapologetic about their opinion. See, look at this. Stop talking like your mother. That's right, Juliel. I agree. You guys need to stop talking like your moms. And stop treating women in your life like they're your moms. Stop having opinions that you only have because this chick you're into thinks it's cool for you to have that opinion. And you think that by parroting her opinion, that by mimicking her opinion, that's gonna get you on a date with her or something. It ain't gonna get you a date. It ain't. It's gonna get you ghosted and ignored. That's what's gonna happen. So, guys, there's your Sunday morning hope. There's your Sunday morning reasoning from Bobby Hesley. Hang in there, guys. This thing is just getting started. As a matter of fact, this thing hasn't even gotten started yet. It hasn't even got started yet. That doesn't start until tomorrow. So I want you to enjoy your Christian Sabbath, for those of you to whom that applies. And tomorrow is game day. Tomorrow, we're going to see how confident the winning side is in their victory. Okay? Hang in there, guys. It's far from over. God bless. Bobby Hesley signing off. We'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.